Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Drawing Expressions, as live streaming here on YouTube. I'm Parz Satva. Thank you so much for being a part of this creative writing journey that we are on. And during this holiday season, whatever holiday you happen to celebrate, we celebrate Yule here, but Christmas or all the other ones that fail to come to mind right now, happy whatever that is, blessed whatever that is to you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We are going to be doing some creative writing, and it's going to be a bit of a holiday theme. We'll get into that in just a minute. And before we get into the writing, let's just kind of review a couple of things that are good to review. Number one is my lovely lady love, Alicia, is on chat. So please reach out, say hi, let us know you're out there. And so that's all there is to say about that. Please just let us know you're out there. And whether you're doing this live or you're catching this on the replay, yeah, please do reach out. Things to know. So the one thing that is always good to mention, it's one of the very, very firm guidelines I have, is that guidelines bend. We don't do rules around here. Guidelines are just so much more fun to play with. So if something doesn't work for you, ignore it. If something's working for you and I say that it shouldn't work, well, ignore that too. Or, you know, do whatever it is that you do that works for you. I am here to provide suggestions and guidance and potential guidelines, and then it's up to you to make your decisions. So I hope you will keep that in mind as we go through both this live stream and any live stream that you happen to watch. The class structure, it honors both the planners and the pantsers in the crowd. The planning section today is going to be that writing exercise that is going to have a bit of a holiday theme to it. And then pantser, we're going to be talking about characters, just where I find my characters come from and who they are. Some of them anyway. And now let's just get our minds and our bodies ready for the writing itself, because creativity, it is a demanding exercise on the head and on the body. And so what I'm going to invite you to do is join me in square breathing. And so taking a nice deep breath in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale in. Stretch. Exhale. The shoulders and get the hands going. There we go. Good. All right. So let us talk about what we're going to be doing today for our writing prompt. And like I said, before I get into that, let me just make mention of the fact that this is a live stream, and so therefore we can sometimes have visitors on camera. This is Bhakti behind me. He is our male ragdoll. And yeah, hopefully he won't be trying to step on the keyboard too much, but we shall see. Anyway, where was I? Okay, yes, the writing for today. So this is going to be, like I said, holiday themed. And for the holidays, one of the things that I find to be really, really awesome about them is all the cooking and the eating. And so this is a perfect opportunity to introduce a character that I made some years ago. Her name is Julie, and she is someone who comes on her local public television station, and it's like it's a phone-in program. And before I was doing the live stream, I was actually thinking about the fact that I may actually have to explain what public TV is, because this may be a thing that doesn't really exist anymore. So imagine, if you will, for a moment, that instead of watching me on the live stream, you were watching somebody else on a live stream channel. And that's kind of what it is. And instead of having chat and text and whatnot back and forth, you would call in. And so then there would be someone who'd be managing the phone, throwing a question out to the presenter. And that would be how you would talk back and forth. So that it was not the immediate feedback on things and no side chats and all that kind of stuff. It was just like someone would call in and have a question. Maybe they would put the questioner onto the sound track as well. But yeah, that's basically public TV, and it was government paid for, so you didn't have to subscribe to it. So anyways, this is the inspiration for that, where that came from. And one of the big stars, for lack of a better word, of public TV was Julia Child. I think it was Julia Child's child, I think. Anyways, she was on the air for decades, and every week she would do, yeah, I'm aging myself. She would teach people how to cook, and that was like her thing, and she did it for decades. Long before Martha Stewart was Martha Stewart, was Julia Childs. So Julie is sort of based on that, where she has a cooking show on a public television program. People call in, she answers their questions. So I thought maybe as a start, I would read the first story that I ever wrote with Cooking with Julie in it, and use that as a prompt to do some sort of cooking show. And if you wanted to continue to use Julia Child, thank you. Thank you for looking that up, babe. So if you want to use Cooking with Julie as a prompt, great. If you wanted to use some other program, that's wonderful as well. If you wanted to have a more modern context where there's like chat going on the side, you can do that too. This is just sort of a jumping off point to some sort of help cooking show thing, which would maybe involve, like, the holiday cooking, holiday meal preparation, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna show this on the screen, and I will read it. So before I read it, now I know everyone's connection. I'm going to bring it back to here real quick. One of the things that I find very important is when you read a story out loud, that as best as you can, you become that character, if it's written in first person. Because the tone, the accent, the tempo in which they speak, all of these types of things, they're very indicative of who they are, and it helps to inform the readers who it is that they're dealing with, right? So with that, I'm going to come back to here. Here we go. I'm Julie, and this is Cooking with Julie on Savannah, Georgia Public Access TV. Call me with your cooking quandaries. Hello, who's on the line? Hi, Julie. I'm trying to rescue a peach cobbler. I put it in at 350 Fahrenheit, but I didn't hear the timer go off, so it's been maybe 2 hours. I don't know what to do. Okay, Sugar Bun, I'm going to take a leap and say your best bet is to turn off the oven, throw the poor thing away, then head to the Piggly Wiggly and buy yourself some ice cream. Thanks, Julie. And thus, Cooking with Julie was born. And yeah, and so now you have a little bit of a flavor as to who she is, right? I haven't really described who she is, but in your mind, you're like, okay, I've kind of got a feeling for who this person is. So maybe we can start from that point and proceed onward with writing another cooking show, help, tutorial, something. As a foreshadowing. No, not even a foreshadowing. This is sort of like a hint as to where I'm going to go. I want to make some sort of reference to turducken, which is where you take a turkey and you shove in a duck and then you shove in a chicken. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet. This is going to be like on the fly, live, what comes out of my head and then out of my fingers. So yeah, so if you want to watch that progress in live, just stick with me. If you want to sit down and write your own story, please do. And then we'll come back to the breathe and stretch screen as we make the transition from this section to the next section. Okay, so before I move on and do my thing, I'm going to give you a minute to maybe note some notes down. Do you want to work with Julie? Do you want to work with somebody else? What might the question be that comes in that is related to like a baking question or a holiday cooking type of question? I'm going to take, actually, before I do that, 1 second, see if this is going to work. I'm going to share the window. Okay, here we go. So 100 Words by Parz is a blog that I used to actively write into. I don't anymore. I do it now into the drawingXpressions blog. But this is the section, the Cooking with Julie section. And as you can see, Cooking with Julie was the first one. That's what I just read. And then we've got frittering, flavor, lean-tos, what's burning, and so on and so forth. So apple pie travesty. So things like that may provide a clue, a hint as to what you want to work on. Okay, all that said, I'm going to pause and grab a drink of water here, and then we'll come back and start doing some writing. Okay. Right. So I'm going to get my screen set up and start to get my go. There we go. Okay. Get my my writing set up, and all right, I'm going to come over to sharing my screen. And yeah, let's just see where we go with this. Okay, so first off, I like to put into the top just a couple of notes to kind of keep myself on track, what it is that I'm trying to express and where we're going to go. So this is Cooking with Julie. And I really want to make mention of a turducken. I don't know if that's right. Is that? Oh my gosh. Okay, spell check knows turducken. Of all the words to know, turducken? Really? All right. Okay, so we're gonna make some mention of turducken and holiday cooking in general. Awesome. So one of the things that I like to do, which makes it a Cooking with Julie story for me, is she always introduces herself. So I'm going to go back real quick and grab that intro line. And whoops, here we go. I'm just going to grab this and bring it back to here. Okay, good. And all right, I'm Julie, and this is Cooking with Julie on Savannah, Georgia Public Access TV. Call me with your cooking quandaries. Hello, who's on the line? So I'm going to take this down just a little bit, edit it down just a little bit. I'm Julie, this is Cooking with Julie. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of this. The nice thing about being able to have a series is that in the first go round with the story, I did the full introduction, Julie, Cooking with Julie, Savannah, Georgia at Public Access TV. When you read the next story, you're sort of assuming into the prior one, so you can shorten up the introduction. So I'm going to leave it with, I'm Julie, and this is Cooking with Julie. Call me with your cooking quandaries. Hello, who's on the line? And that, I think, is a great introduction into the world of Julie and Cooking with Julie. Now, if you, in your writing, would like to have something different, or you just want to jump right in, or have more of a modern feel to it, go for it. Go for it. This is all guidelines. I'm just talking about what I typically do with this one particular character. Okay, so we know who we're dealing with. It's Julie. We know where she is, Cooking with Julie. We know we're looking for cooking quandaries, and we're now opening up the phone lines. Who is calling? All right. Now, I want to make mention of turducken. I'm just going to make one quick little change here. I don't know why I put single quotes instead of double quotes. Not that it makes a darn bit of difference, but I just like the look of the double quotes. Okay. Okay, who's on the line? So let's have someone calling in who maybe didn't quite understand. Maybe they didn't quite understand the instructions when turducken was first introduced. Maybe we're going to have Julie kind of take credit for turducken. I think that'd be kind of fun. So let's kind of go that way. So I'm going to share my screen again. So here we go. Hi, Julie. When I, oh, here we go. When you described turducken last year, I know turducken's been around for a good long while, but we don't need to worry about like dating or being exact or anything like that. We can just leave that bit out. We can date this to whenever, prior years. When you described turducken last year as a cooking, it feels sort of like a Russian doll, doesn't it? Where you're taking like the small thing and it's inside the bigger thing, it's inside the bigger thing. So let's maybe do like a Russian doll kind of thing. As a cooking Russian doll exercise. Just pop that in for right now. When you described turducken last year as a cooking Russian doll exercise, I think maybe I didn't understand what you meant, because no matter how I seasoned seasoned the meal, it didn't taste right. Okay, so there's our question. Okay, so now we have, let's get into the turducken. What happened? So Julie kind of plays the straight man on this. It's the caller who's sort of the comedic side of things. It didn't taste right. Okay. So maybe the first question is were the quality of your ingredients good? Were the quality of your birds adequate? Were they fresh? And this person, let's just have them be very confused. They didn't use birds, they actually used Russian dolls shaped like birds, because why not? I guess so. They were still in the package. Okay, caller, I don't think I'm understanding what it is you're saying. I'm understanding what it is you're saying. Did you use fresh poultry? Let's see now here. Well, the Russian dolls were bird-shaped. Isn't that what you meant? Whoops. And let's not have that be capped. Up the question mark. There we go. Oh, let's see now here. Now, I think a response back, something like, oh, bless your heart, which kind of means you're an idiot, but it's in a really nice way. Oh, bless your heart. No, Kala. You have to use real birds for this. Not factory made wooden ones. You are intended to eat this. Yes? Right. Thanks for clarifying. Whoops. Let's get that capped. Thanks for clarifying. Bye. Okay. So this is sort of a weird call, but then again, some of these people that would call into these shows were weird people. Okay, so let's just come back to here. I'm Julie, and this is Cooking with Julie. Call me with your cooking quandaries. Hello, who's on the line? Hi, Julie. When you described turducken last year as a cooking Russian doll exercise, I think maybe I didn't understand what you meant, because no matter how I seasoned the meal, it didn't taste right. Were the quality of your birds adequate? Were they fresh? I guess so. They were still in the package. Carla, I don't think I'm understanding what it is you're saying. Did you use fresh poultry? Well, the Russian dolls were bird-shaped. Isn't that what you meant? Oh, bless your heart. No, Carla, you have to use real birds for this, not factory-made wooden ones. You are intended to eat this, yes? Ah, right. Thanks for clarifying. Bye. It's weird, but there we go. It being so weird, maybe let's try thinking about different ways that this could go, because this one is a little bit on the really wacky side. So I'm going to drop a couple more notes in here. So actually, I'm going to put a lot more space in there. Here we go. Okay, so instead of having someone call in and say, oh, I want to do Russian dolls, Russian doll cooking involving real Russian dolls, bird-shaped. Where could we go instead? Another way would be to say that Julie describes how to make, or the actual introduction of turducken. Why not? So she suggests start with a turkey outer, then a duck, then a chicken. And what could go inside of a chicken? I mean, aside from just an egg. Because normally you'd stuff the chicken, but what if we stuff it with something else? We're kind of going with poultry, so maybe then a chicken, then a game hen, then a partridge. Then how about a really, really small bird? Then a turducken. Then a let's see now here. What could be inside of a partridge? A really, really, really maybe like a hummingbird. I don't know if the size works out, but yeah. And she could. I mean, this could even be a joke, right? We could. This could be serious. This could be serious. Serious. Serious suggestion. A joke suggestion. Because we can always have Julie joke. Let's see now here. Maybe one other way to take this. See now here. Perhaps someone who is making turducken, and they want to speed up the cooking process, and so they want to put all the sides. If they've got all these meats there, they want to put all the sides inside as well. So what might suffice as stuffing for turducken? And apparently, according to a private chat from my lovely lady love, this is supposed to be it's supposed to be and then this is supposed to be capped, and then that is an N. So we can do it that way too. Okay. What might suffice as stuffing? Soup? Salad? Dessert? I mean, why not? We could make it like one great big meal, just all stuffed in together, and then as you eat your way towards the center, it develops, kind of like a Wonka. What do you call it? The gobstoppers. That are the complete meal inside of it. Why not? Another suggestion that Alicia came up with this one. She said, "What about mixing meat?" So we mixing meat. So we have some sort of like a rabbit or a frog, or what else? Let's what else could we put in there? So rabbit, frog, things that would maybe work. Maybe a small ham, like a small ham. Whoops. Maybe salmon. We'll grab that. Or perhaps even like a like hamburger. I mean, why not? Whatever. Just some ideas. Some ideas for where these things could go, where a cooking question could go, how to put something like this together. And really using these prompts, I think we've got actually a few different stories that can go in various odd directions. They don't have to be based in the holidays as you write them out. So in fact, I will probably use at least 2 of them as I start to do more cooking with Julie stories in the future. But I think with that, that is a good place to sort of put a pause on cooking with Julie. So let's come now to our breathing and our stretching. So taking a nice deep breath in and stretch. Okay, wonderful. So how did your story come? What does that look like? If you have just a suggestion to throw down, go ahead and drop it in chat. And again, if you're catching this on the replay, drop it into the comments. Love to see what it is that you did. Okay, lovely. With that, yeah, we'll just move on to the next section. Whoops, I am in the wrong. Here we go. Move to my other set of notes. I just flew by them. Here we go. Okay. So, like I was talking about earlier, Julie just came from writing microfictions, and in the time that I was writing that, what I would do is I would take 3 words and just sort of let them percolate, and then a story would come from it, kind of like a seed word germination. But I would only use, instead of coming up with a list of words and then grabbing 3 and then moving on, I would just like pull 3 out of the blue. And Cooking with Julie just came forth. Much like my other characters, she has developed over time. And that is the way that I like to have my characters evolve and present themselves, is just like, here's a story, it's interesting, and I want to come back and use that character again for some other story, some other facet. So I'm going to come over to sharing my screen real quick. So this is some of the characters that I have created over time that have emerged from my writing exercise. So first off, Clyde, the Forgotten Reindeer. If you were here in the last 2 live streams, I think, no, I didn't do it in the last one, but it was the 2 before that. We covered Clyde, the Forgotten Reindeer, and his development and coming up with a new story for him. Cooking with Julie is next on the list. And then some others. Some of these come from just plain writing. Household Item Wrangler, he just emerged out of the blue like that. Maxwell Armageddon, Raymond Thespian, Psychic Goddess Cassidy. Other ones kind of came from a private joke. Frank Cappuccino, Bicycle Cop 51. He was the product of a running series of jokes that that Alicia and I would have. We used to live on top of a huge hill. And to get from one side of town to the other side of town, you had to go up and over this thing, or way around. And so we said, okay, well, what if we had bicycle cops here? And that just turned into this running joke of bicycle cops. And so Frank Cappuccino is that bicycle cop. He's running around town. Another one here, Loony Andy. He's sort of in the middle of the list. Loony Andy, he was a takeoff on Andy Rooney, who was a personality for the TV program 60 Minutes back in the US. And he would kind of do these weird rants, and he had this voice, and so I really wanted to model Loony Andy based on that, and except this was even more weird and more off track types of things. So all of these stories are on the 100 word, or whatever it was, the 100 words by Parz blogspot. You can get there going through our DX Linktree. Go to my Linktree, and then you'll end up over there in the that blog. If you wanted to read more these particular stories. But yeah, this is where how my characters come out. Generally, just either sitting down writing, or part of a private joke, or something that I want to make fun of, or otherwise just kind of like, bring to the fore. And I write them over time. So as I write each iteration, you learn a little bit more about them. And the one thing that I don't like doing is to give physical descriptions about who they are. I want the reader to form their own opinion about who they are. So like Julie, is she older? Is she younger? Probably middle-aged, right? Just judging from the sound of her voice. How does she carry herself? What's her concerns? The fact that she's on public TV, what does that tell you? All these things that you can sort of figure out for yourself without hearing about, her size, or skin color, or hair color. Who cares? These are unimportant details when looking at she's doing her cooking show, and that is really what you want to focus on. And especially in microfiction, where you only have, a max of 250 words to operate properly within microfiction guidelines, and that's typically where I operate, or at least I tended to operate. I've been expanding my stories now to be closer to like 500 words. But you can have just focus on the detail that does matter. You don't need to worry about age and physical appearance and all that kind of stuff. You can let the reader do that on their own. They can come to their own opinions. And yeah, so that's really all I've got to say about making characters. Is as you write, listen for those characters. Maybe they'll start to talk to you even. Or like Household Item Wrangler, he was a classic one. So he was just this weird guy with an Australian accent living in a basement in New Jersey. And I started to write stories that involved household items, and I would literally hear Household Wrangler go, "That's my story. G'day. I want to talk about rubber bands." And they would progress on, right? And so that is how I move my characters forward. Anyways, enough about that. If you have any questions about my process and how these things come together, drop a question into the chat or into the comments. I will absolutely read them and respond. Okay, and I think with that pretty much covers what I was looking to cover today. Writing a holiday-themed story with Cooking with Julie and how my characters come out. So with that, let us move into my haiku. Not my haiku. This is the drawingXpressions haiku. What am I thinking? A creative space, holistically supportive. Please like, share, and subscribe. And really do. Please consider giving us a like and a share and a subscribe. It helps us tremendously when you do. If you share your writing online, please use the hashtag DXLive with Parz. It helps me to find your stuff and to comment on it. Yeah, because I do enjoy reading what is out there. Anyways, with that, let me come back to here to say thank you once again for being a part of our creative writing experience. Thank you for taking a part out of your holiday preparations and coming and spending a bit of time with us. I will catch you next week, and we will be deep in the holiday season at that point. And so hopefully you won't be drunk on rum-filled eggnog, or maybe you will be, and you just make better stories that way for next week. Anyways, whatever condition you happen to be in concerning eggnog and rum, I look forward to seeing you, and I'll see you then.